Hey everybody, this is Matthew Hunt from Boone's Overstock and Retroactive Records, and I do have an important announcement to share with you today. Um, we were blessed to be able to work out a deal with Phil Keaggy and his guy Tom Galata to be able to do a co-release with them for a really important album. Phil Keaggy's "What a Day," a 1973 release. So if you're like me, I was born in 1970, uh, which makes me, I guess, pretty old. I didn't. Anyway, it's been 50 years since this 1973 album came out. It's really an important release. The impact that it had on Christian music and musicians going forward really cannot be um, measured. It's as important as Love Song, Larry Norman, um, all those. I mean, Children of the Day, all those early albums. Phil Keaggy, "What a Day," 1973 was a treasured release, and it continues to have an impact on people today. It had some amazing songs like the title track, and also um, this is "That Is What the Lord Will Do for You," "King of the Jews," "Walking with Our Lord," "A Time and a Place," "Rejoice," "Now I Can See," "Behold, all things become new," "Hallelujah," and "I Will Sing." And this is a really special version that we're putting out, 50th anniversary edition. It's called the Deluxe Edition, and I'm going to show it to you right now. They are actually in stock. We got this stuff sooner than we expected, and we launched orders for it later than expected. So we didn't actually do a pre-order for it. We just here it is. We're just ready to ship. We have them in stock, so there's no reason to wait. We are hoping to do a vinyl later on down the road, and we have some other ideas that we're kicking around as well for some other Phil Keaggy related projects. So I hope to be able to announce that in the near future. Um, but this is a very amazing album. I actually did not grow up listening to this album. I did some of the other earlier ones like Dallas Home and Praise, Rise Again, or the live album. Those were really important ones. I have absolutely treasured going back and reacquainting myself, though, with this album. As you can see, the back of it, it actually has 3 CDs in it. 3 CDs. Disc number 2 has 16 tracks, and it is filled with "In the Studio 2023," different versions of songs on that album. Some of them are instrumental mixes. They have different end tags. They have alternate mixes, acoustic mix, vocal mix, different outtakes, things like that. So it's a really high quality second disc. And disc 3 is called Demos and Outtakes, and I don't want you to think that that's a bad one either. So, but they are 20 tracks on disc 3. So there's 10 songs on disc 1, 16 on disc 2, and 20 on disc 3. And demos and outtakes are really special. Um, Phil was part of that. Phil and Tom worked together and made sure that this was as special of an audio as you could possibly get. It was actually remastered by the original engineer. So I think I got that right. I may have my terminology. Anyway, it was remastered in a very special way. And we're really excited about it. It does make it breathe a lot better. I put the disc in my truck where I have a CD player, and it was like the heavens opened, and the album just sort of breathed really deeply. And it's warm, dynamic, crisp, and clear. You will love the remaster. It's fantastic. Now, as you can see, it is 3 CD set, but it's pretty thin. So it doesn't take up a lot of space in your collection. And what this is, and I'm not going to take it apart because I don't want to spoil the excitement when you get it in the mail, but it's actually an 8-panel wallet for packaging. and then there's what's called an O card that goes around it, and that's it's just like a cardboard sleeve that the 8-panel wallet slides inside. So it helps make it a very special deluxe packaging. But the brilliance of it is it fits in your CD collection in the same way that a normal CD would, and it doesn't take up a whole bunch of extra room. And those of us that are collectors, we have a lot of CDs, and I value space economy. So um, this works really well for the multiple disc, and it has a 40-page booklet. So we really did not spare any expense on this. Uh, it it they actually got they found the roll of pictures from the original What a Day photo session, if you can believe that. Most of them had never been used, so I mean, this 40 pages is just filled with just these precious pictures of a young Phil Keaggy. It's amazing. Like, you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, he's got that hipster beard and stuff that's popular now, and I don't know how old he was, but he looks pretty young. um, he looks really young. But it's a very powerful album. It's available right now at boonsoverstock.com, and it's $29.97. And at least for right now, we have shipping set for first class shipping at $6.34. You can do other kind of shipping methods as well. We do ship internationally. Please don't complain about the shipping prices. Well, you can complain, but we can't do anything about them because we basically charge you the same price that it costs us to ship them overseas. So if you can find someone to ship them across the ocean for 1980 domestic prices, then that's good. If other places do that, that's awesome. I wish that we could, but right now we've negotiated rates and they're pretty darn good, but it's expensive. So. But we do ship overseas, and we'll be happy to do so. And these are ready to ship now. So if you're at boonsoverstock.com, on the left side of the homepage, there's also a link to all things Phil Keaggy. And we also want you to know that we have a lot of Phil Keaggy collectible things. I'm just going to go over them real quick for you. I'm going to show you 3 of the more important ones right away. There's a rock and religion show that came out in the 1970s. It might have hit the 80s. I can't remember. Uh, they kind of had a nondescript look, but they come with a cue sheet. There's only about 200 of these made, and it's a radio show, so it has interviews, songs, interactions with the artist. It's really cool. It's just like a radio show, and this is actually the What a Day. This contains the What a Day song, and also some stuff from Second Chapter of Acts and things like that. A live concert with Second Chapter of Acts and Phil Keaggy, taken from the tour in 1976. Again, there's only like 200 of those in existence. This one is also a Phil Keaggy rock and religion program. Right here, it just looks, they all look the same, but this is from 1978, a show from 7/30/78, and the second side is 8/6/78, and it has songs from like Time, Love Broke Through, um, Take Me Closer, and things like that. And I also have a third one. I'm not really sure. Okay, this is from 1980, actually. January of 1980, both sides. One of them is Daniel Amos. One side is Dan Amos. The other side is Matthew Ward. But it does have Phil Keaggy on there as well. So those are not cheap. Those are all over $200. And but again, there's 200 in existence. So if you're a Phil Keaggy fan, they're almost impossible to find. Wanted to show you some other good ones. We do have vinyl of Emerging in really good condition. And a lot of these, including that one, we actually have multiple copies of. Ted Sandquist in Courts of the King. This is a really special album that features a very young Phil Keaggy and Nija Ross. We do have multiple copies of that. A super rare one is Phil Keaggy Prime Cuts on vinyl. We have multiple copies of Flip side. Pretty novel cover. Did you know that Doug Pinnick from King's X played on or wrote one of those songs on Flipside? We also have a very nice copy of What a Day on Vinyl. Pretty nice looking, isn't it? We've got Phil Keaggy, Love Broke Through. I got some real good ones here coming up in a second. Another more common one of Play Through Me, and of course the unbelievably good Master and Musician. This is Phil Keaggy with Glass Harp Song Up in the Air. It was basically took some songs from all three of the Glass Harp albums and released it on Star Song. Probably more of the Christian themed ones. I did not realize it, but this is a really hard to find vinyl record now. It's like almost impossible. Find Me in the Field. So if you, that's one of Phil's seminal albums. One that I always really liked. I never heard people talk too much about it, but 1983 Private Collection Underground. Phil does some ripping hard stuff. It's the kind of stuff I really liked. I was super excited when Phil came out with the heavier stuff on Crimson and Blue, but I always liked that one. And we have two copies of Phil Keaggy and Sunday's Child. That one's a really, really, really nice open copy. Um, but this one's actually a factory sealed copy, and it comes with a promo pic that's really rare of Randy Stonehill and Phil Keaggy. You can kind of see it there. It also comes with a press release. You can kind of see it behind there. It actually lists, I think it says David Mead as like bass player or something, but it's actually somebody else. I can't remember, so it's wrong. But that's the official press release that went out, factory sealed. And then we also have Wind in the Wheat, which is almost impossible to find on vinyl these days. And the original release of Way Back Home with the original cover. It came out on CD with a much different cover, also a different track listing. Like it had some of the same songs, but it's a lot of different ones. So those are all available to store as well. So, and you can get to all that stuff. There's a Phil Keaggy link on the left side of the page, and it's like basically Phil Keaggy CDs, tapes, and records. We do have a few cassettes by Phil Keaggy as well, if you're looking for those. I think I don't know if they're still there or not, but I think we had an underground private collection cassette as well as a glass harp cassette, but I think one of those might have sold. Anyway, just want you to know you can get all that stuff at boonsoverstock.com. There's also tons of Jesus music stuff. We listed a bunch of Larry Norman, a few Randy Stonehill items. A lot of it's really, really hard to find stuff, and that's under the Jesus Music vinyl and Jesus Music CD and tape links. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.